Hi everybody, I'm Jesse and this is my friend Chase, and we are here at the Hollyoaks ORV Park in Holly, Michigan with this 2021 Honda CRF125FB. Now that's the big wheel version. Now Chase, how old are you?
13 years old.
And how tall are you?
5'4".
And how much riding experience do you have?
1 day.
Okay, yeah, so I brought Chase out here about a week ago, and that was his very first ride, and he did great. Now today we're going to take the bike out on the trails again and on the tracks and give it a good rundown, and then talk about what we like and what we dislike about this bike as a beginner's bike. So let's go get geared up. This version of the CRF was introduced in 2019 and is still currently in production. Here we're looking at the 125FB version, which has the 19-inch front tire and the 16-inch rear, giving the bike a 30.9-inch seat height and a weight of 200 pounds. Honda makes the version of this bike with smaller wheels and a lower seat height for smaller riders, which is called the CRF125F, no B in the name. The bike is powered by an air-cooled 125cc 4-stroke engine, which is easy to maintain and will likely require very few repairs over its lifetime. The bike puts out around 9 horsepower and has a 4-speed transmission. First gear is geared extra low, which allows riders to chug along at super slow speeds when needed and also helps prevent stalling out. Kick it up into second, third, and fourth gear, and you can reach speeds over 50 miles an hour. Starting the bike is easy with its electronic ignition and fuel injection. Yeah, that's right, fuel injection, no carbs to tune on this bike. Chase will be riding the bike throughout the video. As mentioned in the intro, he's 13 years old and 5'4" tall. He only has 1 day of experience prior to the shooting of this video. He was out here riding last weekend for a good 6 hours, but that's it. The big wheel version of this bike is suitable for riders in the 5'2" to 5'5" height range. Chase is able to reach the ground flat-footed, and this will make it easier for him to get his foot down to catch his balance even on uneven terrain. I recorded Chase while following him around on my KX250, so a lot of the engine noise you'll be hearing throughout the video is noise from my bike, not the CRF. Chase found this bike very easy to learn on. He really had no difficulty managing the gears and the speed of the bike. The bike's power is very easy to manage. Even if you slip and ring the throttle, the bike won't lurch out from beneath you. In fact, you would really have to pull the clutch, ring the throttle, and then drop the clutch to get the front tire to come up off the ground. It's just not likely to wheelie out from under you when you make a mistake. Since this is a trail bike, the suspension does not have a lot of travel, so it can be pretty easy to bottom it out. The meager power and soft suspension make this bike a fantastic bike for beginners, but the question is for how long? Well, by the end of the second day of riding, Chase was already searching for more acceleration, and he said he was bottoming out the suspension on some of the jumps. I could tell at the rate that Chase is learning, he's probably going to surpass the capabilities of this bike after 1 or 2 more days of riding. If you were just into trail riding, the bike would likely be perfect for him all summer, but he likes to do jumps, and I just don't think the CRF suspension will be up to the task. Fortunately, I have this KX85 as well as the KX100 that Chase will likely move on to once he feels more confident. Choosing a bike for a teen like Chase can be difficult because you're dealing with someone who's growing both in skill level and size. Once he grows another 2 inches, he'll be ready for a larger bike. And with teens, that could be within just a few months. And as I mentioned already, he is already reaching the limits of what this bike can do after just 2 days of riding. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is running out and buying a brand new dirt bike before they've learned how to ride. If possible, find a friend with a small trail bike that you can practice on for a few days. What you'll probably discover is that the best bike to learn on is probably not the best bike for you to use in the long term. There's a good chance you'll want something a bit bigger and faster once you develop your confidence. The CRF125FB is a trail bike, and that's where it shows its true colors. The bike carries a lot of its weight low in the frame, making the bike easy to handle. The soft suspension eats up the rocks and ruts on the trail, and the long gearing of the transmission limits the amount of shifting you'll need to do. If you do happen to stall the bike, it's easy to get it going again with the electric start. My biggest complaint about the bike is the kickstand. It's too short. The bike leans over so much it practically falls over, and it does fall over if you try to put it on soft ground. There's just too much weight on the kickstand with the bike at that angle. So who is this bike best for? Well, again, this bike is good for riders who are 5'2" to 5'5" tall. I could see this bike being a fantastic bike for riders between the ages of 8 to 12 who are interested in trail riding and hitting some small jumps. Now, this opinion is based on the assumption that kids under 12 don't weigh very much and the bike suspension will be able to handle most jumps a new rider attempts. This bike would also be great for riders ages 12 and up, including shorter adults, who are interested in using the bike primarily for trail riding and not so much for jumping. However, riders who are 12 and up that intend to use the bike for jumping will likely surpass the capabilities of the bike shortly after learning and will find themselves wanting something more like a KX85 or a KX100 or maybe a Honda CRF125FB. These bikes have more suspension travel and more power, but they're not the best bikes to learn on for the simple fact that they do have a lot more power. So there it is, everyone. Those are my opinions of the Honda CRF125FB. I hope you found this video helpful. If it was, please like it and remember to subscribe. Check out my other dirt bike videos here on Go Hobby.